Your book's purpose. Get clear on what you want your book to do. That's number one in the purpose. What do you want your book to do? Number two, what problem does your book solve for your reader? Even if your book is fiction, what problem does your book solve for your reader? If you're someone that wants to get tips and tricks to effectively get your book published, perhaps you're an aspiring author, you're starting from scratch, you're a bit confused, you want to get a surefire path to getting your book done, be sure to subscribe to the Getting the Win show. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe at Getting the Win. If you're listening on podcast, subscribe on Spotify. I am officially on Spotify, so you can find me on audio. Let's get into the show. Good evening. Happy Wednesday, my winners and goal getters. Welcome back to the Getting the Win show. I am your host, Melissa T, the procrastination bully. Now, getting into this episode, I'm going to talk about the foundation that you need for your book. If you're someone that's working on a book, if you've been sitting on yours, if you started on yours and put it on pause, this episode is for you. I like helping authors who are a bit unclear on where to start, if they're starting from scratch, or, if they're even mid-journey, but they perhaps have paused because there's a bit of a lack of clarity. This particular step here that I'm going to share in this episode could be the game changer. This could be the one block that's been stopping you from running forward full speed ahead with your book. I just got done, as of this recording, just got done with my Voice Fuel virtual writing workshop last night, and the attendees loved this information here. I have what's called the F5 framework, and the foundation is the F in that F5. It's the foundation and 5 pillars. So today I'm focusing on the foundation. These 3 key pieces of the foundation could be the thing, could be the bit of clarity that you need to go forward with your book, or to sharpen it and make it better so you can finally finish it if you're mid-journey. So the first element of the foundation for any book, regardless of the genre, regardless of your target reader, the first thing is knowing your target reader. Like, not your target audience, your actual one person. Because as I shared during the Spring Forward Writers Retreat and during the Voice Fuel virtual writing workshop, it's a lot easier to talk one-on-one with somebody than to try to talk one-to-many in your marketing. Because with any book that you're creating, you're going to need to market it, just period. At least if it's front-facing. If your book is meant to be strictly for your family as a legacy piece, not necessarily as much effort is required on the marketing front. You're just getting a message out within your family to let them know that your book is coming and what your book is for. So smaller scale with that. But if your book is front facing, it's going to be public facing, you're definitely going to need to market it. And nailing down your target reader is going to be the game changer. Because once you get granularly down to the specific person that you're talking to, it'll be much easier to talk to them in a way that they will self-identify. There's a coach who coaches coaches. She's in more of the mindfulness space, but she has a term that's called the egoic label. It's a way that those of us who are consumers who read marketing material can self-identify. So for instance, my target reader is a 40 plus mom, African-American woman by the name of Vanessa. She's a mom of 2. She is a wife. She has a 9-to-5 and a business. So she is busy. Okay. 9-to-5, business, family, husband, right? So she is busy. And yet she has a book idea in her. The thing that's keeping her up at night is the current economy. And she's worried about whether or not she is financially secure, whether or not she's doing enough for her family to be financially secure. and whether or not they're able to have options in the event that they need to move around. You know what I mean? If things become a bit too stressful or unsatisfactory, she wants to know that she can move around, financially speaking. And she and her husband are equally contributing to their family financially. It's not a lopsided situation. That's my target reader. This is a African American woman, 40 plus, with a family, 9 to 5, and a business of her own with a book inside of her. And it's the busyness of it all that keeps her procrastinating on her book. So I can alleviate all of her misgivings, all of her doubts, all of her questions to getting started and getting the book out of her to publication. Who's your target reader? Who is that specific person you're talking to? And I advise the folks that I teach this to even get down to the demographics, like where is your person living? Is your person a Floridian? Is your person in New York? Is your person in another country? Because hey, business is international, right? Globalization is a thing. If your person's in another country, which country? Are they upper class? Are they middle class? Are they working class? Where are they? Are they a high performer? Are they in the 1%? Where are they? In my case, Vanessa is Floridian because that's easy. That's easy enough to identify and speak to. I used to be a Floridian. I'm in the South, y'all. Between Florida, ATL, like that's the language that I can speak. So it's easy enough to be able to speak that language. So for me, Vanessa's Floridian, 9 to 5, an entrepreneur, so middle class. She's generating enough income, especially with the combined income from her and her husband. So they're middle class, possibly even upper middle class. Like get down to the granular detail with your reader. Because as you heard in my avatar, I also explained to you what keeps her up at night. You're going to want to know that about your reader too. What keeps your reader up at night? Okay. Get down to those granular things. That sort of question is what's under what's called psychographics. What keeps your reader up at night? What kind of things do they like to consume? How is their mind state? Do they have a fixed mindset where they think it is what it is and they can't grow? Or do they have a growth mindset where they're open to exploring things? They read, they consume podcasts, they get down to what kind of podcasts they consume. What kind of news do they watch, if any? Are they a YouTube kind of person? Are they a streaming kind of person? What kind of streaming? Amazon Prime, like any of the pluses, like get down to the nitty gritty detail. Create a full profile of your avatar, including where they live and the way that they would speak, all of those things. Because one of the cheat codes that I provide people is in using AI. And when you're clear on who your reader is, you can train AI to talk to that person using their language and based on how you speak, combining those two things. Speaking to them in that kind of tone, but with your language, your level of humor, your level of conversational tone, or if you're someone who's more persuasive, training it to sound more persuasive. But that's peg number one in the foundation. Nailing down your target reader, not your target audience, your target reader. Your one specific person, give them a name. Okay. The next part of that is your book's topic and genre. So, getting to this part, this involves some research. You'll want to go to Amazon to research what the general idea of your topic and genre are and explore, because the beauty with Amazon is there are tons of them. tons of genres and subgenres. So you can explore and see which books are bestsellers, Amazon bestsellers on those in those respective categories, and get an idea of what can work for you and for your book. So do some exploration, and that kind of exploration doesn't take much time. The avatar, your reader, that exercise I estimate at 30 minutes to write that out. Or better yet, the cheat code is to record it. Pick up your phone and say it. Remember, these are mini computers. So pick up your phone and record yourself saying it. If you're the type of person that's so busy that you don't have the time to write it down, record it. My reader is Alonzo. He's Afro Puerto Rican, you know what I'm saying? Afro Boricua, grew up in New York City, and he has this, and this. Like, say it and record it. Now, if you voice record it, it'll take you maybe half the time. It might take you just 15 minutes, 10 to 15. You can carve out that kind of time. You can substitute an episode of your favorite show to record that. Okay. So that's knocking out peg number one. Peg number two, in terms of your book's topic and genre, that Amazon research, I also estimate about 30 minutes with that. It really doesn't take that long. So researching Amazon, and better yet, if you want to use an AI tool to do it, by all means, use perplexity.ai or use ChatGPT to ask it the question. Hey, I'm looking to write a book in this topic, in this genre. What are the best sellers in that genre? It'll spit it out. Or if your question is, I have an idea to write a book about this, or like around this. What are the best-selling genres that I can put this book in? The AI tool will kick those particular topics and genres out. AI is a tool that's meant to help you save time. It's meant to be your second brain. So use the tools that are available to you. Perplexity.ai is free. It has a free version and a pro version. ChatGPT has a free version and a pro version. Use them. And I prefer perplexity.ai in that it's more search engine accurate. ChatGPT is still, it's very versatile, but it can still be a bit erroneous. It can still be a bit erroneous. You will have to iterate with ChatGPT. And sometimes you have to call it out. Like, are these the actual answers, or are you lying? Did you make any of this up? I'm not making that part up. Like, there are people that have had to reiterate. They had to come back and ask ChatGPT in order to verify the answers. And ChatGPT was honest, like, no, I made this part up. But those are two AI tools that you can use as an example. There are plenty of others out there, but you can start with those two to shorten your time in doing the topic and genre research. Okay. The third peg in the foundation is your book's purpose. And this is the peg that is probably the game changer if you're someone that's been writing your book and perhaps press pause. Perhaps this is the part where you kind of got stuck because maybe you were in the weeds, you were in the midst of writing, you're like, something's missing. And maybe you didn't quite have the language for what that thing was that your book was missing. So your book's purpose. Get clear on what you want your book to do. That's number one in the purpose. What do you want your book to do? Number two, what problem does your book solve for your reader? Even if your book is fiction, what problem does your book solve for your reader? Is it to entertain? Because with fiction, that's usually what the problem is that you're solving for your reader. You're providing them an effective form of escape. So get clear on your book's purpose. What problem does it solve for the reader? And what do you want your book to do? Do you want your book as a legacy piece, as I mentioned earlier? Do you want to repurpose your book into a course or a podcast? Because that's a thing too. A lot of podcasts are talking head format like this, or interview style. You know, those are like the most prevalent version. But there are some podcasts that are literally narratives. Like each episode is a piece of an overall story. You know, talking head podcasts, interview style podcasts can stretch on for years on end. But there are some podcasts that are narrative style podcasts that are meant to just be a book broken up into different episodes. And that's it. Like the number of episodes to tell the fixed story is it. That's the whole podcast. Those work. Those work. So that could be a purpose for your book if that's something you want to explore. Do you want your book to be adapted into a film or a series? That's going to change the action steps you take for your book as well. And it'll also change the way you write it. That'll impact the way you write it. Getting clear on those things. Do you want your book to be distributed in schools? Whether, K-12, K through 12, or colleges and universities. That also will determine the way you write the book. It'll determine the language you use in it. Because a K-12 book is going to read a bit differently from a collegiate book. The kind of language, the kind of writing that you use, it may differ. Academia is a whole other universe in terms of its language, in terms of the vocabulary. It's a different world and a different set of standards. So getting clear on the purpose of your book. So those are the three main pegs of the foundation for your book, regardless of genre, regardless of who your target reader is. Get clear on these three things: your book's topic and genre. Search on Amazon, use AI tools like Perplexity.ai and ChatGPT to do that. And then nailing down your target reader, down to the name, what's keeping them up at night. Are they single? Are they married? Do they have kids? Are they strictly 9 to 5? Are they strictly entrepreneur? Are they shouldering both? You can get down to their political ideology if you want to, depending on the kind of book you're writing. All of that. Your target reader, getting clear on your target reader. That last peg is getting clear on your book's purpose. What problem does your book solve for the reader? And what do you want your book to do? Once you get clear on that, that'll also help you further along in the process when you start marketing your book. Because now you're clear on what your book is doing, what it's for, who it's for, and how far you intend to take your book. If you only want to sell copies of it, that's cool. There's no shade to that. If you want to build a business around your book, that's a different purpose. That's going to require a different strategy. For instance, several of these books behind me, the UOU 365, the 9 to 5 Millionaire book that's over here, right here, there were courses built around those. 9 to 5 Millionaire was, the book and a workbook, which was connected to another course called Make Real Estate Real. The UOU 365, that's a whole community now that feeds into the UOU Mastermind ultimately. It upsells to the UOU Mastermind. Shout out to ET. That Expert Secrets book right there, that's part of Russell Brunson's ecosystem, as you guys can see. Your first funnel, and then this magnetic marketing thing. All of that stuff, those are different courses within Russell Brunson's ecosystem. So it depends on what you want your book to do. And by the way, both of those box kits, they came with books too. Even though they're courses, they came with books too. So you can build a business around your book. It is possible. If you're someone that has a book idea and you're starting from scratch, let me tell you, it is possible to build a business around your book. There are two classics, one on this end, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and then this one here, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Those books were written decades ago. And to this day, they have courses built around them that are feeding generations of their families. That's possible for you too. If you're midway in your book journey and maybe you're dealing with self-doubt, let me remind you of that. It's possible for you to make that kind of impact with your book once you're clear on what your book's purpose is and you're clear on your target reader. When you're clear on the problem you want your book to solve and what you want to build around your book, impact is possible. And in terms of your book's purpose, when you're clear on that, you get to define what that impact will be. Do you want it to impact your community locally? That's possible. You can keep it local. Do you want it to impact just your family? That's possible. Keep it in the family. Maybe it's a recipe kind of thing. I've spoken with aspiring authors who wanted to pass down recipes or sometimes family stories in a book that they just wanted to circulate within their family to honor their loved one that is more seasoned and might be on their way out, not dearly departed yet, but they might be aging and they want to make sure to secure that legacy before the person goes. Or in some cases, the person is already dearly departed and they want to set that up. It's possible. You can do that as long as you're clear on that for your book's purpose. Hopefully this episode helped you out if you're an aspiring author. My goal is to help 3,000 women 40 plus who are aspiring authors. They're entrepreneurs. They're busy. You guys heard my one reader, right? Vanessa, 9 to 5, entrepreneur, super busy. My goal is to help 3,000 aspiring authors this year go from simply aspiring to actually published authors, to go from ideation to publication. That is my mission. That is my mission. Turn procrastinators into producers, right? You've heard me say that if you've been rocking with me for a while. And that is now in the context of authorship. Turning women 40 plus from procrastinating authors to published authors. If this episode was beneficial for you, by all means hit like on it so more people can see it, so that the algorithm can pick it up and get it out to the folks that need it. And if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe. If you're on YouTube, subscribe at Getting the Win. And officially, this show is on Spotify. So if you're someone that listens to your podcast on Spotify, subscribe to the Getting the Win show there as well so you can catch it on audio. Season 1 is uploaded on Spotify right now, so you can go binge that. And we'll be continuing to upload those episodes so you can get fully caught up. As of right now, we are in season 5 as of this recording. So welcome to it. If you're brand new to the show, thank you for sticking around. The show runs typically 30 to 40 minutes, a little bit more sometimes. But if you found this beneficial, by all means, dive in. You can follow me on Instagram, Pinterest, and Threads at Getting the Win Show as well. And yeah, if you missed the Voice Fuel virtual writing workshop yesterday, don't worry, the workshops are monthly. So I've got one coming up in May as well. So subscribe here, whether on Spotify or on YouTube at Getting the Win, to get those updates. And if you want to join my Goal Getter community, follow me on Instagram at Getting the Win Show and DM me community, and I'll get you in the mind. But in the meantime and between time, thank you so much for tuning in. I love you. And I'm here for you. I'm bullying the procrastination that's in you so you can get that book out of you, get that luxury item out of you. In the meantime and between time, have a great and productive rest of your Wednesday and great and productive rest of your week. Peace.